What's up, YouTube? So today I'm going to be talking very briefly about wealth, and with, at least in America, this sort of new classification of how wealth is distributed throughout generations. It sort of leads to something very specific, and what that is and this isn't always the case, but at least in America it seems to be a case. When you get rich, let's say you get really wealthy, millionaire, billionaire. Once you hit that sort of status, what ends up happening, let me just show you this. This is a pretty cool view. I don't know if you can see it. But anyhow, what you find happening is once you hit the top, the next generation after that bumps back down to middle class. And then the generation after that, they will usually fall either middle class, and some of them might fall down to lower class. And it just continues there until it all equalizes out. Most likely, most of them will eventually fall into middle class. And as the generations go on, they'll fall into lower classes. Some of them won't. Some of them might strike it rich again. So the general idea behind this, though, is that the reasoning behind this is that rich people don't just give all their money to their descendants and tell them, do whatever you want with it. Warren Buffett is one example, and there's others out there who are doing the same thing, and it's based off the mentality, Bill Gates as well, that's giving too much money for your children isn't always a good thing, because they're just going to take it for granted and not do anything, not have any need. And I really am behind this. And Warren Buffett had a saying, I can't remember it exactly, but it went something like this. It was like, I want to give my children enough so they could do anything, but not so much that they do nothing. I think that was exactly it. But you get the point, right? And it leads to a very interesting sort of classification and theme of people in North America. And that theme is basically that if one person hits it rich, that doesn't mean all their descendants are golden for the rest of their lives. Like what you'll see is that there's going to be some people who are like, let's take a look at Warren Buffett's grandchildren. Now, I don't know all of them, but it's very clear that some of them, like I was just watching this clip on YouTube. Oprah was interviewing Nicole Buffett, which appears to be a granddaughter of Warren Buffett. And she said she was the granddaughter of Warren Buffett on the show. And basically, she said that she wasn't making, she was living middle class. She was a granddaughter of one of the at the time, he was the second richest person in the world. And she was there just working a middle class lifestyle. She was technically a caretaker or servant for a wealthier family, which is ironic because her granddad is the second wealthiest person in the world. And so it's very curious how that sort of differentiation happens in America, because we know, at least when we're looking at other nations like India or China, that's not always the case. They give everything to their children, especially the billionaires, and these children spend it lavishly. They live lavishly as well, flamboyantly, and they teach their children to live the same way. And so it's a very curious thing. I think over time, as developing nations switch over to developed, and again, this isn't always the case. I mean, if you look at rappers and rock stars and singers like Chris Brown, they're millionaires. They're not billionaires, but they're millionaires, and they are flamboyantly just spending their money on cars, Lamborghinis, and so forth. So it's a very interesting thing, and if you get nothing else out of this video, I hope you guys understand that it really is a good thing to, not always have a lot of money to start out with, because I wouldn't be here today if I had everything I wanted served on a plate. The things I'm proud about most are my characteristic traits, the academic accomplishments I've made, and other personal achievements that may not mean much to you but mean a lot to me, such as approaching certain girls in the past, getting shot down, but just that feel, that ability to do that. And none of that would have happened if everything was just served to me on a silver plate. And another thing is, well, two things. First, obviously, money isn't the most important thing in the world. The second thing is, I personally would not judge someone based off how much money they're making, because I can find just as much value and respect in a person who is not making a lot of money at all, maybe even just minimal wage, and I can have just as much respect and love them just as much as someone who's making a ton of money. In fact, sometimes a lot of these people making a lot of money, I don't respect and I don't like, because of who cares about all this money when you're a corrupt, deceitful, or evil individual. And I do feel like making money it's a lot of things, from luck to winning the genetic lottery. And what that means is, if you win the genetic lottery, you have a talent in a specific field, like Warren did with his ability to recognize and allocate capital better than the average person. And it's other things too. Some people are just very ordinary. They're not smart. They're pretty dumb, actually. But through their hard work and perseverance and just that alone, they found a way to make a lot of money. But I feel like if anyone knows me in person, I have been tending to talk a lot about money, but that's definitely not. I feel like it's an awesome accomplishment to do. It's a cool goal to set and accomplish and feel proud of. But with the current modernization of the world, I don't think it's as important as people used to think, and it's much different now. So that's all I gotta say. I wanted to make this a quick video. Of course, there's a lot more stuff I could deeply elaborate on in this video, but I really wanted to make this very quick, and I'm just going to end this with a very few couple points. Money is not everything. A lot of people end up taking it for granted. I know people who have been very much blessed with a lot of good fortune, mainly all stemming from money. And what do they end up doing? They're slobs. They take it for granted. They're not thankful for it, and they sit in their rooms and they play video games all day, and they don't really enjoy their studies. And one can't assume that this is all part of the fact that they had all this money to finance them. The video games they bought, the consoles they bought, the heating in the room, and all the lavish furniture and food they got. You can't say that was 100% because you can't say that was the 100% cause of how they're living their life, but it can play a great part. So that's all I really gotta say. And with this sort of enlightenment, I feel like a slight weight has been lifted, because I mean, you'll get tons of people out there who have failed in this, and they're under this sort of dream or illusion that money is everything, and they're making millions of dollars, and they want more and more and more. And once some of them reach the hurdle, some never do. And if they do reach the hurdle, they're like, okay, I got $10 million. I want 20 million, and once I get to $20 million, I'll be happy. And once they get to 20 million, they hit 30 million, and they keep going and going and going, and they're never happy. And then there's others who never reach the hurdle, and they make the excuse that once I get to $1 million, I'll be happy forever. And that's not the case. But they make that excuse because deep down they know they'll never reach $1 million in earnings or savings, and they're putting that out as some sort of fake illusion. That's all I gotta say. As always, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Peace.